I'd like to call to order the County Board of Commissioners regular session for December 21st, 2021. Looks like we got a full house tonight. It's nice to see everybody out in the audience. To get us started, I am going to ask Commissioner Robinson if she would lead us in our invocation, please.
Let's all bow our heads. Dear God, we thank you for the blessings of the birth of your Son, Jesus, and help us to remember that Jesus was your greatest gift to us. Thank you for all your many, many blessings, and thank you for allowing us to come together tonight to conduct the business of the county. Guide us to always make the decisions that are best for our county citizens. Now we ask that you would go with each of us as we go our separate ways and keep us safe. In thy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. And if you're able, please stand as we do our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So the next piece on our agenda, tonight we have the pleasure of appointing Mr. John Shaw into our open seat of County Commissioner that was vacated by Mike Crisco. Do I have Mr. Deaton?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, there he is. I didn't see you, John. How are you?
Hi. So good. Hope you are.
I'm well, thank you. So, Mr. Shaw, if you will join Mr. Deaton, we'll get this underway.
You want to hold the Bible for you? Or?
Let's see here.
Other way.
Other way.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
Just repeat after me. I state your name.
I, John Shaw,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and maintain
that I will support and maintain
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of North Carolina,
of North Carolina,
not inconsistent therewith,
not inconsistent therewith,
that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
as County Commissioner.
as County Commissioner.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I state your name.
I, John Shaw,
Do solemnly and sincerely swear
do solemnly and sincerely swear
that I will be faithful
that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of North Carolina
to the state of North Carolina
and to the constitutional powers
and to the constitutional powers
and authorities
and authorities
which are or may be established
which are or may be established
for the government thereof,
for the government thereof,
and that I will endeavor to support,
and I will endeavor to support,
maintain, and defend
maintain, and defend
the Constitution of said state,
the Constitution of said state,
not inconsistent with
not inconsistent with
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
to the best of my knowledge
to the best of my knowledge
and ability,
and ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
I state your name.
I, John Shaw,
Do further swear
do further swear
that I will well and truly execute
that I will well and truly
the
execute
duties of the office
the duties of the office
of County Commissioner
of County Commissioner
for the County of Montgomery,
for the County of Montgomery,
according to the best of my skill
according to the best of my skill
and ability,
and ability,
according to law,
according to law.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thanks, sir.
Just get you to sign here. One for you and one for the board.
And John, if anybody in your family wants to take your photo real quick with Mr. Deaton, you're welcome to do that real quick after you sign all your documents. Because I know you've got family that will end up leaving soon, so if you'd like to have a photo, go right ahead.
Get everybody up for just 1 second for a photo if we could.
Sure.
Thank you, sir.
We can take 2 minutes to do that. Lord, John, you brought the whole neighborhood.
Just turn around with your grandkid. There we go. Take her down just for 1 second to get the picture.
My mask is crooked.
Down.
Oh, your mask.
There you go. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. I love you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Love you.
Thank you. Is that your daddy, John? That's great. That's great. I don't know him, other than I've seen some photos. All right. So our next order of business, as we do in every December, we do have to do a selection of a chairman of the board and a selection of the vice chair. So do we have a nomination for the chair of the board?
I make a nomination for Chair Dana Dawson, please.
And do we have a second?
I second.
All approved?
Aye.
Any against? All righty. So next, we have to make a selection of a vice chair of the board.
I make a nomination for Mary Hassel.
All right, so John Shaw nominate Mary Hassel. Can I have a second?
I second.
All righty, Ms. Kay, a second. So all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so as we move into the new year, we'll have Dana Dawson as the chair and Mary Hassel as the vice chair. So next topic on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. So tonight's agenda, if I could have a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
All right, Mary Hassel, approve the agenda. A second.
Second.
Dottie Robinson, second. So all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, agenda stands as written. So next topic is our consent agenda. I know there's a few items on here. We looked at them during our work session. Anything that needs discussion this evening? If not, I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
All right, so John Shaw, motion to approve consent agenda.
I second.
Dottie Robinson, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, consent agenda is approved. Next item is the excise tax refund request. I'm going to turn this over to her manager. Mr. Manus, if you can walk us through that, it would be appreciated.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Harbor City Title has made an official written request for a refund of excise tax. They have submitted documentation including an affidavit and correct deeds for 2 properties, and I'm going to just read the property PIN numbers just for the record. Property 753810268323 and property 753809153099. As I said, they are presenting a claim for a refund based on a miscalculation of excise tax. State law requires that, unlike most things, if there's just a simple request for a refund, it can usually be processed by the department or the finance office. State law requires that in the case of an excise tax refund, that the Board of County Commissioners must have a hearing to determine whether or not a refund is due. I'm not sure if anyone from Harbor City Title is here or anyone representing West Hill Ranch Group. Those would be the applicants for the refund. The extent of the file is in your packet, with the exception of a letter that we did notify the applicant of a hearing that would be held tonight. I'm happy to answer any questions I can. This is a new one for me too.
Right. And what again, I know it's in our packet, but the total of the refund was like $500.
$500. There's 2 parcels, $250 overpayment each parcel.
Okay. Any questions, comment, anyone? If we are going to approve this, we will need a motion to execute this refund.
I make a motion.
All right, so Kay Robinson makes a motion that we approve the refund of $500 of the excise tax. Do I have a second?
I second.
Mary Hassel with a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so Mr. Manis, if you will let them know that that will be taken care of. Thank you so much. Something new for us all. Next on our agenda is public forum. I'm not sure if anyone has signed up to speak tonight. Is there anyone here that is wanting to speak during public forum? If so, we will have our manager review our public forum guidelines.
Be happy to. The public comment period shall be for the purpose of allowing members of the public to comment on county business or items on the Board of Commissioners' agenda. This period shall not serve as a forum for debate with the Board of Commissioners. Remarks shall be addressed directly to the board and not to staff, the audience, or the media. The chairman shall open the public comment period. Any person who wishes to speak shall approach the podium and announce his or her name and physical address prior to making comment. Any citizen desiring to comment on a matter of public interest within the authority of the Board of Commissioners to legislate in an open forum shall be allotted 3 minutes. Citizens may yield their time on a specific topic by utilizing no more than 2 citizens' time slots. This will allow up to, but no more than 9 minutes. The county manager shall notify the chairman upon the expiration of the allotted time.
So is there anyone here for public forum wanting to address the board?
Yes, we are.
Okay, you come forward.
Where do I stand?
You can come right here to the podium. And if you will state your name and your address, please, for the record.
My name is Robert Lair, 1779 Yank Road, Montgomery.
Okay,
And we're here, as I think you all know, we've communicated with you with regard to a proposed agriculture processing plant, chicken processing plant that is, what we understand, planned for our road, right next to our house, basically. And we have been in contact with a number of folks about this, and we feel like it's the best alternative, or the best chance that anyone has to keep this from happening is to have the health department pursue this as a public health nuisance. And we're not opposed, I want to just make it clear, we're not opposed to this type of activity. We just believe that it shouldn't, even though it's not zoned that way, zoned to agriculture, there's still residents there. And this would have a very significant environmental impact on the people who live there. It'd have a very significant impact on the property values of the homes. And it's, we would like the county, if they through the health department, to use the statutory authority to do this, to prevent this from happening, and have this located somewhere where, there's a lot of places in this county, there's a lot of places in surrounding counties where there aren't any people. I mean, there's no people, and this is a very significant amount of waste would be generated. The smell would really be bad, and it also has a big effect on people who have health-related conditions, such as older people who with breathing problems and children who have asthma. And there are people, in our area. There's not a lot of homes, like 10 homes right down to the end of the road, I suppose, but it could affect, I think, up to 2 miles away. And so we're asking the county to do something about that if they can, and we've communicated to you, brought you information. We are working with some other environmental groups, and we could provide more information to you also.
well, we appreciate you coming tonight. We have got your emails and information, and I know our county manager has looked into some things, and obviously there's much to consider since we have them across the county, so. You state your name and address for the record as well.
My name is Lynn Lair. I live at 1779 Yank Road in Mount Gilead.
Did you say Lynn is your first name?
Lynn is my first name. There are a lot of things, there are obviously economic consequences for people who live on Yank Road. And some of the people who live on Yank Road would be losing the sweat equity and possibly life savings in their homes there. They're not in a situation where they'd be able to move, and they would be suffering the health impact, which is devastating for children. We have young families on our road, and we have old people on our road. And more and more things like this are coming up. Nonprofits are receiving more and more cases like this. And there are some successes, although not a lot, but there are some successes because of more research, more science, and more information about the consequences of having a poultry operation. This is over 100 acres, and the person I spoke with yesterday, who has researched and published some reports on this, has said that this qualifies as a large-scale poultry operation. They generate, a small-scale poultry operation generates about 600 pounds of waste a day. This is a large-scale operation. The size of the land that they're purchasing implies, we can't get any details until their first day of operation. Right. They don't need to submit a waste management disposal plan until they start to operate. So by then, of course, then you're having the EPA and calling for inspections and having groups try to do things against it. It seemed a smarter move to look at these issues now, because the issues are going to come up again for chicken poultry trying to go in next to homes. In this case, we are the most adversely affected in terms of the farm would be behind us and on either side of us. We live in the old Edgar Haywood farmhouse, and all of that is Haywood land, and all of it is being sold for this. So we would be encircled. We would be unable to stay there because of my immune system compromised situation. We'd have to leave. And there's another historic home on that road that I think, well, no one's going to buy these old homes and continue to invest in them if their housing value continues to plummet. You lose about 30% of your housing value with a poultry operation nearby. In our case, it would be right on our yard. And the research indicates you need at least 2 miles from their boundary. Well, we're right there. We aren't even 2 feet. And there's a huge radius of people that will fall within that 2 mile, that they are not 2 miles away. So for a lot of reasons, and because you're our elected representatives in terms of, running the county and doing what's best for people who live in the county, that's why we appeal to you to look at this really seriously.
Well, we appreciate you coming this evening and for the information that you've emailed us all. Yeah. And of course, we have forwarded that all to our county manager as well. So we will definitely do our due diligence to look into some things.
That'd be great. I've just driven about 80 miles an hour to get here from Pinehurst.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm a little bit, the traffic is absolutely
Take a deep
horrible.
breath and just, thank you very much,
you.
Lynn. Anyone else for public forum? No?
Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
what would be our next step then?
I'm happy to provide
Please.
an update, small update. The layers and I have communicated back and forth via email. Initially I responded to them, and I believe I forwarded this information to you guys. Typically when you're talking about land uses and incompatible adjacent uses, you're talking about zoning or other land use controls. Agricultural, bona fide agricultural uses are exempt from zoning. They may even carry several exemptions on into actual building permits and inspections. So often there's very little permitting required on the local level. So there could be operations that happen without county knowing,
Right.
because there's no permit requirement. I did hear Mr. Layer mention poultry processing plant. I was under the impression it was poultry houses.
We don't know, excuse me.
A plant would,
That's
that's different.
Yeah, you're right.
That's industrial, so that would, certainly, we would have to check zoning with that, as it becomes an industrial use. Have forwarded the concern to our health department. There is a statute that refers to a public nuisance. Public nuisance statutes that could be a very involved process to enforce, but nevertheless, it has been forwarded to the health department to take a closer look at.
Perfect.
And details about what's proposed are, I don't have a lot of detail. It's just what I've been told.
Right.
No plans or.
We've not seen anything of what's really happening yet. Okay.
If I can just say, that as the county manager indicated, we don't know exactly what kind of a chicken processing operation there's gonna be. It could very well be, they're just gonna have a lot of chickens there, and how many, 16 houses, sometimes as many as that. And so, and what's the difficult about this is that no one is given any advance notice of any of this stuff, and open, because they don't have permitting requirements for these type of operations. They don't have to have a public hearing on it. They don't have to submit anything pretty much to anybody until possibly they have to get a building permit. They also may have to comply with a permitting requirement with the state, but from what we understand, this is very rarely enforced. They don't even know how many of these operations exist. The BOCC doesn't know that. They don't have to tell them, basically. They don't have to go through them to get anything much. And they're really not monitoring them, and they're really not doing any enforcement on it. And it's just something that has this significant of an environmental impact. It's just beyond me that it isn't regulated a lot more than it is. And but agriculture has a big power, political power in the state, and so we're just basically we're fighting as best we can.
Well, Mr. Mangus, I'm assuming that as we hear more from the health department, we will keep the layers in the loop of things. And obviously, our county is, we have lots of poultry production across the county. So there's lots of things that we would have to look at from consistency. But absolutely, we appreciate your concern and bringing it to our attention. And we will dig into it the best that we can and see what could be done. All right? Any other questions? Did that answer your question, Dottie, for now? Okay, so no other public forum. We will close our public forum session and move into the county manager's report. So, Mr. Manus?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, this month, I do not have any action items. We have included several of the routine reports you guys see each month, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have on those. I will make note that finance report, we're getting very close to the midpoint of the year, so you'll probably hear me comment a little more about that next month, as we'll have 50% behind us. I did want to take an opportunity to express appreciation for Dottie's service to the county, both as an employee and an elected official, and wish her Godspeed in the next chapter of her life.
Thank you. It's been a joyful ride most of the time.
And Dottie, how many years did you work for DSS?
I think it was about 27 years.
A long time. So a lot of years there, and then, of course, your 3 years
I
sitting on the
started at the
board.
bottom and went up.
Hey,
so.
that's what it's about, right?
Yeah.
So you will definitely be missed. You have been
I'm going to miss everybody, and I'm going to miss the county too. But
you'll just be a hop, skip, and a jump away.
I know you'll still see me around, just maybe not as often.
Right.
Dottie, thank you for your mentorship. As coming on as a new commissioner, you've always been available to answer questions for me and meet with me, so I appreciate that.
Well, thank you for that, because I had help too when I came on board, so that's what we're here for.
Anything else? You're good? Well, before we close, I would like to say Merry Christmas. I can't believe Christmas is 4 days away. So from this board to all of you guys, a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. By the time we see each other again, it will be the new year. And of course, we will begin this process again, starting in January to fill the seat of Ms. Robinson as she vacates us after the first of the year. But Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And with that, if I could have a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
So Ms. Hassel, make a motion. I need a second.
A second.
Dottie Robinson, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Well, then let's go home. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.